Alright, everyone, it's the Grim Lord here, and this is Grimm's Comics Corner. We're doing Vampirella Comics Magazine. Alright, guys, so I need to go ahead and say it. We're going to be doing something special in October, which is our Halloween Horror Month. So a few comics that we normally do won't be seen. However, we're going to replace them with some stuff that is a little more ghoulish and stuff that you guys might really enjoy. And some of it you haven't seen in a while. So, we're not going to be adding any more horror anthologies since we do that every weekend now. But we are going to add some more horror-influenced comics to the mix just for that month. So stay tuned, and I'll have more about this later. But for now, we've got Vampirella. This is issue 6, and this is only the end of the first volume, so we're nowhere near finished with this comic. Is it possible to escape from your grave? See what happens in Darkworth. Vampy's Fairy Tales. The centaur galloped over the foothills of Thessaly in the golden age of Greek mythology. Half man, half horse, centaur became legendary for their jolly drunkenness and their devil-may-care attitude in courting hoofless human women. Oh, that's what they did. A centaur is shown here with the bride of the Greek Pirithous. The most famous of centaurs was Chiron, the personal teacher and advisor of Achilles, Jason, and Hercules, three of Greece's greatest heroes. Dan Adkins. Okay, here we go, guys. We've got Scarlet Letters, Curse of Circe, The Brother's Death, Darkworth, New Girl in Town, Victim of the Vampire, Vampy's Flames, One Way Trip, and The Wolfman. So there's quite a stacked lineup tonight. Vampy, you're a real swingin' chick. That's what they said back in the day. Rabid reader response to stories about Dracula and has inspired a series of Vampy's further adventures to appear in future issues. This was the beginning, guys. This is when Vampirella Comics Magazine became Vampirella Comics. I've never been in love with a vampire before. Cousin Evilly. Evilly, okay. Subscribe or die. So you're going to be a pig about it? You say you want lore for your money? Here's a sweet young myth who will try to amuse you while your blood runs cold to the haunting doom of the Curse of Circe. Hard to read that. Out of the myths of folklore and legendary comes the terrible whisper of evil enchantment and lethal legendary known as Circe. The old tales are written off as maunderings of imaginative minds, but the Lady of the Pigs is as real as today. On her island, men are turned into boars, and tuskers in her island can be found. But read on. Come to me, you travelers of the storm-tossed seas. Here on my island there is no time, nothing but my beauty to enthrall you, and my will to make you forget your cares and woes. Io, Io, come to me. Come to Circe. The voice was a mere whisper in the wind that moaned about the cruise ship on which Paul Madden was voyaging throughout the Mediterranean Sea. Strange! It's as if the wind were talking to me, inviting me to come with it, to far places. But that's ridiculous! I must have had too much bubbly at the captain's table tonight. All through the night the wind grew stronger, until toward morning, driven by tremendous gales, the cruise ship struck a stone wall, where no wall could possibly exist. Crash! And into those awesomely heaving waters, Paul Madden was flung like a straw man. Wham! Nobody saw me go overboard. I'll drown! The currents dragged the desperately struggling man downward, yet the sea could not quite swallow him. No way to fight these big waves, even if I am a good swimmer. With morning and his salt-caked eyes opened. Where am I? Say, wait, who are you? What are you doing? Why are you dragging me back into the sea? Let go! The sea is safer than the land on this island. Please, I will flee with you. This is a bad place. Say, what are you, some kind of nut? Here I am lucky to be alive, and you want me to go back in that sea again? A voice like the song of the breeze and poplar trees calls softly. Helen, bring the young man to me. It's too late now. Too late. Man, what a dish. Circe the enchantress beckons, and all men must obey. I didn't know they made girls like you anymore. I'm coming, honey, just as fast as I can. The beauty of Circe is like a savage drumbeat, thrilling and exciting. It thralls, it mesmerizes. Welcome, young man, welcome. Her ivory arms go about his neck. Her lips, as they kiss, burn with an enchanting flame. Oh, I'm going to like it here. You shall rest first, and then you shall bathe, and after that the feasting and the loving. Bemused, yet not questioning his fate, Paul rests then. You're jealous, Helen, but I don't hold it against you. Any girl would be jealous of her. I warned you. Wine, song, and of course women. Women such as Paul Madden had never seen, smiling down from her ebony and ivory throne, the loveliest of them all, Circe, and Helen wanted to scare me off from a life like this. After the feasting, the loving, my handsome darling, it's been a long time since anyone like you visited my island. Quaff deep of this elixir of the gods, in the shadows of the night, much later. In the arms of Circe, a man forgets his name, what he was, and what he ever hopes to be. All he knows is pleasure. But in the morning, where is she? And what am I doing on the floor? I feel so strange. Have I shrunk? Or... A boar cannot scream, or Paul Madden might have screamed his lungs out on seeing what he is and what he has become. This can't be happening. I'm drunk and delirious. Somewhere. Out! Out! You're just one of her swine now. Scat! Whack! Palsied with fear and shock, Paul Madden ran through the island woods. Dazed and incredulous, he still cannot accept his fantastic fate. I still don't believe it. If this is reality, then that woman must be... Circe! Half out of his mind, almost believing that he is mad, the boar that was Paul Madden fled through the dense woods of this eerie island. I remember in the Odyssey that tells of Circe's island. Ulysses ate a plant called Molly and was saved from her enchantments. A soft voice called, Paul Madden, come to me. Paul, Paul. I don't know what Molly looks like, and what's that? Come, Paul, feed on this herb that will give you back your humanity. Helen, I should have listened to her. Now she's saving me, in spite of myself. Slowly his body changed. It's beginning to work on me. I've got my body back. Hand in hand, Paul and Helen fled into the sea. We're getting out of here, honey, and you're coming with me. A passing ship will pick us up. Once again, a storm rose, trapping the swimmers in its vast waves. Wham! I can't go on. I'm going down. No, Helen, you saved me, so it's my turn to save you. With morning, two bodies lie on the sandy shelf of one of the Balearic Islands. They're dead, but what's this dress they're both wearing? I've seen pictures of something like that in the museum in Barcelona. It's called a chiton. Why are they wearing them? Maybe it's one of them costume parties. Yes, that must be the answer. Hope you enjoyed that, little bitty. Think I'll try on one of those chitons. Want to help me, guys? Sing a song of sixpence. Sing a... Wow. Can I not do this? Sing a song of sixpence. Sing of things that die. Sing of 20 ravens baked in a pie. Sing of a darling child who with her last breath sang a song of Mary and the brother's death. Marie, Bob Morgan called. I think he wants to ask you... I'm going to Jason's bookstore tonight. I'll tell Father where I am. Your father has been dead for many years, sweetheart. I know how much you loved him, and you've been this way ever since he passed away. It's destroying you. I'm content to be this way. There is so much peace and beauty in my dedication to death. My poor little Thanophile. I'll try to understand. But must you go to that awful bookstore tonight? They promised to have the book I ordered. Look at the leaves, Mother. How I love the autumn. Tomorrow is Halloween. Once entered, Marie wafted the musty odors from her nostrils, searching the vaults of decaying volumes for her book. It was not on the shelves. Here's your book, Marie. It just came in. Why, thank you, Mr. Jason. Marie. Christiana. Be calm. Pretty. Be calm. Pretty. Cloves summons you to his palace. I, wife of Dugan, have been sent to bring you there. Prepare yourself for my kiss of death. Christiana's lips were ice as they drew the warm breath of life from Marie's lungs. First a loss of senses, never a loss of awareness, and then her limbs and head began to tingle. Old senses were being replaced by far superior devices. Marie's awareness multiplied hundredfold. She could see and hear from the entire surface of her body, much clearer and much further than ever before. We are on the plains of death. There is the castle of Gurn, a hideous being who holds the life of the universe in his hand. The other a castle of Clove. There is where we are bound. At the entrance to Clove's castle, bloody caskets, tombs of decay, mindless gargoyles turn away. Within Clove's palace, behold the brothers' death. The first is Monty, natural death. The second is Dugan, my husband and the lord of death by disease and starvation. In Black Lee, sudden death. Seated on the throne is Clove, minister of death. Come here, Marie. Precious Marie, how long you've worshipped me when I had no real substance for you. Now you shall know me in my kingdom, Now you shall know me in my kingdom. Christiana, take her to her wardrobe and dress her properly. As Clove prepares the stallions for their journey across the plains of death, he hears Marie approach and turns to find the girl transformed into goddess. Are you pleased with my garments, sire? Christiana said that you would be. Christiana is very wise. Mount the white steed and take care not to ride too close to the stream of souls. The horses, being ghosts themselves, are attracted to it. As each civilization dies, we try to save a fragment of it here. There are thousands of these gardens across the plains. Greece, Egypt, Babylon, Crete. Sire, why have you sent for me? To be my bride, of course. Share this kingdom with me as my queen. Of course, my lord. On their return from the gardens of paradise, they pass the stream of souls. Marie, pitying their agony, ride dangerously close. My lord, is there no way for us to save these poor souls? They are on their way to feed Mink, the monstrous pet of Gurn. There is no hope, Marie. Be careful. Marie! Clove! Save me! I must be your bride! Slay, Mink! Brother, you are insane! All of the souls will be free to wander aimlessly over the plains. You would bring Gurn upon us. And Gurn must not be slain. He holds the globe of life in his hand. If the globe left his palm, the universe would shatter. One girl is not worth this. I have visited too many battlefields and seen too many accidents and fires and drownings and murders. A bad system is not worth continuing. We can do no worse by challenging it. Clove, I am with you. We are fools, but we are brothers. We are all with you. The brothers, armed with swords and lanes, ride horses which match the color of their uniforms. There it is! Mink, digester of souls. The whole purpose of life is to producing plump soul to be fed to this protoplasmic blob. Lower your lances. Charge before he becomes aware of us. Kavaroom! Gather the horses, brothers. Gurn's armies will be upon us soon. The plains of death are still as the army of demons await their commander-in-chief, Gurn. Oh, lordy, are we in for it now? The ranks are parting. It's Gurn. Come forward, minister, and answer my charge. You have murdered my pet. Guilty or not? I am guilty, but I demand the right to defend myself in battle against you. Impossible! I cannot chance that the globe of life should leave my palm. Gah! You have been relieved of your burden and it has never left your palm. Draw your sword and let us do battle. and in a moment it began and was over. Ah! Look, the demons scatter and flee. The souls are beginning to settle to the ground. Come, brothers, we must direct these spirits to the islands of paradise. There, they can create a true paradise. For weeks, Clove watched the souls file past him, scanning their faces for the lost maiden he had promised to make his queen. The living need only suffer their mates until death do us part. We unfortunate dead have no such escape clause. Speaking of claws, you've got to hand it to Clove. He's a real cut-up with a sword. At least things worked out for him. And I thought that was a really interesting tale. Witches, wizards, poobah! They're as worthless as snake's toes without their potions and familiar spirits. It's time we pay tribute to the true artist of magic, the stage magician. These masters of manipulation have astounded mortals for hundreds of years, working with little more than their wits and a beautiful girl to distract the eye. Houdin, Houdini, Thurston, all great, but the greatest of them all was Darkworth. We began our drama at the bottom in a dingy theater which panders to the dregs of the human spirit. But the Sandy Churchill, built on the marquee, is Candy Church. It's just another bottom. Sandy is from the lower depths of society. And despite her great beauty, she has stayed there. Tonight, seated in the audience, is an insignificant man from her past, bringing to her what is known in show business as a break. Sandy Churchill, how do you know my real name? You look familiar. Could it be Mr. Darkworth? Yes, it is. I haven't seen you in years. Not since you left the carnival. Are you still doing magic? My uncle passed away, and a fine magician. He left me his theater. I was wondering if you would consider leaving your present employment and... You mean a magician's assistant? Me? Sawed in half? Floating through the air? Vanishing like that? Like, wow! It sounds exciting. Can we see the theater now? Spirits linger in the dust phantoms which whirl about the wondrous devices. Many of the illusions claim ancestry from the demon-saturated past before the knights of science had slain the monsters of superstition. And yet, these remain ready to astound an enlightened age. They, are a bit on the horny side, but with some paint... Excuse me. Gonna try that a little differently. They, are a bit on the hoary side, but with some paint and oil... You aren't disappointed, are you? In a month we should... Maybe 2 months and we'll open. Just the two of us? No, there's you, me, and Togo. Remember Togo, Sandy, Togo, the wild man. Oh, yes, hello, Togo. I owe my mute friend a great deal. It was his muscles that put his dilapidated theater together. Now, Sandy, will you join us? Of course I'll join you. This has to be better than what I've known. For weeks, the trio works to put their little theater together. They rehearse their routines as soon as a piece of equipment is completed. Sandy, excuse me. We're going to rehearse the Mysterio cabinet if you feel up to it. All right. Be careful with those sections, my Herculean friend. For each parcel contains a precious segment of a lovely lady. After we have perforated this damsel's ethereal form, we will open this last door to gaze upon her poor, mutilated midsection. As the illusion is completed, Darkworth is startled by a disturbance from what he had believed to be an audience of empty chairs. Bravo, Darkworth! Bravo! I couldn't have done it better myself. Cardson! What a lovely assistant. Where did you get her? I knew you wouldn't mind if I sneaked a preview of your show. I picked the lock on your main entrance. Picking pockets is more like your usual line. You're a thief, Cardson, and a bad magician. No honest agent will have anything to do with you, and you've been banned by every magical society from here to India. Surely, lovely lady, you do not believe these outrageous accusations. My colleague is jealous because I am one of the greatest escape artists of all time. Someday I may even be able to escape from the grave. Togo, throw him out. What does he mean by escape from the grave? It's an escape trick that I've been working on for nearly 10 years. When Cardson was my assistant, I told him about it, but I never told him how, the secret. I actually escaped from my own grave. The murmurings of the opening night audience merged together into a low drone as if a hungry beast was waiting for the performers just beyond the lights, and the beast was becoming restless. There's a herd of little critters skittering around in my tummy. Sandy, I want to tell you how grateful. I couldn't have been able. My courage leaves me when I am not on stage, or I would tell you what you mean to me. This isn't the time or place. Don't spoil your opening by forcing me to slap you. Of course, forgive me. It's nearly time for the curtain to go up. I hope the crew knows their cues. As the show continues further into the hour, the audience is dazzled by illusions more astonishing than the one previously demonstrated. Ladies and gentlemen, I beg you to hold your applause until the completion of our illusion. Any unexpected disturbance will disrupt the surrounding cosmic forces and place this gentle lady in peril. Vanished! Gasps burst spontaneously from the audience, followed by an eruption of applause. I thank you, good folk, for being with us on our opening night. May beneficial spirits always be with you. Fame comes rapidly to Darkworth. Within months, he is world-renowned. There is, however, an emptiness in the shy magician which fame masks but does not fulfill. Yes, I am a success, but I am not unique. I need a trick that will be my own and no one else's. Escape from the grave. Is this how you plan to escape from the grave? It's so simple. This is all there is to it? The obvious answer is often the best. If a trick is too complex, there's too many places for something to go wrong. But I didn't ask you here to speak of magic. It speaks for my heart. I'm not. Will you accept it? And me? It's beautiful, but you must give me time to think it over. It's time I was going. I'll keep the ring for now. If I return it to you within a week, then that will be my answer. I understand. Goodbye, and take care. Despite the lateness of the hour, Sandy doesn't go to her home. Instead, she goes to an all-night cafe for a clandestine rendezvous. I didn't bring any money with me because I hadn't expected you to learn the secret of the escape so soon. Tell me the secret and I'll pay you tomorrow evening. I'm no fool, Cardson. You'll learn the secret when you bring the money. I'm going to skip rehearsals because I've got to hawk a diamond ring. I'll see you here at noon. Oh, Sandy, why did you betray me? I must protect my secret, and there's only one way I can do that. Togo! Her spine was shattered by a blow from a blunt object. The police are still searching for her attacker. She had no one but me. My assistant will handle the funeral arrangements and I'll pay the cost. Only 2 people in the world knew how to escape from their own grave, but Sandy would never use that secret. The method required her to be alive. Then you're still going through with the escape in 1 week? Yes. She would have wanted me to. Many magicians have been buried alive for an extended period of time, but none has ever escaped from their underground tomb. This will be Darkworth's own trick. After the coffin lid is screwed shut, 3 feet of dirt will be emptied into the grave, followed by 3 feet of a quick-drying cement. A guard will also stand by my grave 24 hours a day. In 5 days I will hold a news conference at my home. Togo, lower me into the coffin. Beneath the layer of dirt and cement, Darkworth has escaped from the chains. That was easy. Any escape artist can do it with muscle control and a lockpick secreted in the mouth. But not even Togo knows how the remainder of the escape will be accomplished. Hey, Togo, look here. They found the murder weapon in the Sandy Church case, and there were fingerprints on the handle. Guess whose fingerprints? Yours! Those on the surface have traded speculations on how Darkworth would dig his way up to the surface, not realizing that instead the pseudo-sorcerer is digging down to a tunnel he had dug many years ago when he had been employed as a gravedigger. Never before had an escape such extensive planning. Darkworth crawls through the tunnel, leading to a second grave, an open grave which Darkworth had purchased under another name, Togo, and Sandy knew of the existence of the second plot, but not the reason for it. In a few minutes, Darkworth would dig his way to freedom and fame. The police have their murderer, and so they won't be waiting for his emergence, but someone else is waiting. Sandy, if only you could have been here with me to share my triumph. What's this? More boards? Due to a bizarre error, Togo has granted Darkworth's last wish. Sandy! It's terrible when unexpected guests drop in, even if you really dig the girl. You stand in the recessed doorway of the little store, staring down the main street of this odd town. Everything seems so different from Pleasant Hills, where you used to live. But your parents moved away from there, and now you find yourself that new girl in town. What a weirdo place. It gives me the creeps. You begin your stroll, hoping to see a friendly face. Yeek! All these stores along here are filthy and grimy, as though nobody ever cleans them or gives a darn. For a moment, your heart skips a beat. A couple of boys are coming towards you, and you do want to make friends. Hey, the town shows signs of life. I'll bet those cats know where the action is. But when the boys are almost in front of you, gulp! What a pair of goofballs. Ugh, they sure were scary. I'll bet they have trouble getting dates. The quaint houses and the grimy shops press in closer for the first time. You notice how cold it is, how dark and ominous the sky. Brother! Like Draculasville. Whatever made Mom and Dad move here? I know he got a big raise and a promotion, but this is overdoing it. Smiles and nods greet you as you begin hastening your steps. These folks give me the heebie-jeebies. They're trying to be friendly, I guess, but they sure go about it in a funny way. You decide to cheer yourself up with a chocolate soda, so you go into the local sweet shop. I sure could stand a little sweetness in my life right about now. Wait till I get home and see Mom. I'll let her know how I feel about this place. Your eyes grow as big as saucers as you see. Oh no! Everything is so old. Why, it's almost as if no one cares what anybody else thinks. A raspy voice calls out. Hold on there, honey child. I'll be happy to serve you. Chocolate soda, you said? Huh? Oh, no thanks. I've changed my mind. You see him pull the lever, and you see dust pour out instead of chocolate syrup. Your heels drum a protesting tattoo as you race along the sidewalk. I never saw such a creepy place. Yeek! If Mom and Dad think I'm going to stay here, they're lame. Stay with us, Ellen. We like you. You're new here. You'll be the belle of the ball. You ignore all the inviting calls. You want to get home inside your new house where everything is nice and normal. I'm splitting. This kind of place just isn't my bag. Suddenly you stop because you've forgotten the way. Huh? Where am I? I don't remember this road at all. Confused, you stumble about until... I know this iron fence. I think it runs around our property. This open gate looks familiar. Suddenly you slide to a halt and your jaw drops in utter horror. No! Ah! No! 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 You stare down at. Here lies our beloved daughter, Ellen Rollins, born 1954, died 1970. Your hands lifted, now you feel your face. Ah! Yes, you think about the accident at last, and how you went through the windshield of the car. Ellie, hey, come on. You're not a new girl anymore, remember? You're one of us now. This is your home. Better exchange your love beads for a garlic wreath, horror hippies, as I writhingly relate this tale of a lovely lady singled out to be the victim of the vampire. This desolate valley in the Carpathian Mountains wears a heavy mantle of horror and grief. 1841 saw a terrible tragedy strike the local village, reaching even into the massive Bukov castle. Peasants and nobles alike were decimated by something so dreadful few dared even speak its name. The youngest and strongest were first to perish. Only a handful of the oldest Bukovs managed to flee to England. In the next 30 years, only one child was born. Young Kurt Bukov was left to carry on the family name. Though heir to a great fortune, who could have lived a king's life in London, Kurt fulfilled his dreams by marrying the fair Lisa and journeying to the land he'd never seen, to dwell in the castle that bore his name. But the weeks of happiness were short-lived. I came as soon as I heard of Lisa's illness. Am I too late? Relax, Father Koenig. It's nothing serious. Lisa just had a fainting spell. She's resting now. I have some slight knowledge of medicine. Perhaps I should look in on her. It's really nothing, Father. She was tired this morning. The long trip. Getting the castle in order, Lisa was fatigued, and it finally overcame her. But she seemed so healthy when you first arrived. Has this ever happened before? Yes, before we left England, a strange caller appeared at our townhouse. He said he was an artist, and upon hearing of Lisa's beauty, knew he must paint her portrait. I am one who thrives on beauty. I ask no payment but the satisfaction of a job well done. I don't know. We're leaving soon. He produced samples of his work that were extraordinary quality. The idea appealed to me, but I was taken aback by this fellow's gruesome appearance. Still, over my better judgment, I called Lisa in to discuss it. She fainted at the very sight of that wretch. When he still tried to plead his case, I had the door bolted in his face. My poor Lisa was so upset I decided to leave the very next day. It was my own fault exposing her to someone so frightening. That pale, pasty skin, and that scar, he looked like death itself. Scar? No, it couldn't possibly be. My son, watch over her. Lisa is beautiful. This cruel land devours beauty. Aye! Lisa, no! Awaiting the English nobleman was proof of the old priest's words, in the form of thirsting, feasting horror. You! Too late! Our blood is one. She'll rise from the grave as young and beautiful as this night, to be mine forever. Demon! Ah! Her pulse is weak but steady. She'll live if the dawn comes soon enough. That artist, he's a maniac. My son in London, he may have called himself an artist. Here he is called by the name of the damned Vampire. Vampire? But you seem to know him. My great joy at becoming a priest was soon numbered when I failed to save the soul of one who meant much to me. A greedy, evil life soon led to a tragic death, but this tragedy proved only the first step in a ghastly reign of horror. In this very room, your young aunt died under the fangs of the undead. She was the first. There were many others until no corpse was buried without first driving a stake through its heart. Even a man of peace cannot stand helplessly by while a monster destroys life and soul. At the hut of a recent victim, I set a trap. Vampire! This night you'll burn... That doesn't work. Vampire! This night you'll burn in hell! It was my hope to decapitate the fiend. Thunk! Instead, the blade found on the side of the creature's head. You have seen the scar! Ayah! There were no more attacks. I dared to hope he died in the hills. I'm sorry that of all ways to learn he survived and fled this land of his birth, it had to be like this. We waste time talking. I must get Lisa away from here. To where? If the vampire would return to this barren country where I nearly destroyed him, he would follow you anywhere. Once a vampire picks his victim, he does not easily abandon her. But I am a wealthy man. I can hire guards to protect Lisa day and night for the rest of her life. And after that, unless the undead one precedes his victim to full death, or Lisa has a stake driven through her heart, your bride will live on in the grave as a vampire herself. Isn't there some way to fight the monster? Father Koning related the methods of destroying the undead. Decapitation, impaling with a stake or a sword bathed in holy water, and blessed burning. Unfortunately, my son, there are more ways to destroy vampires than opportunities. They have the cunning of Satan himself. With the morning, the valley trembled at the somber bells. Whispers spread like a shudder through the village. Lisa Bukov was dead! In the Bukov family crypt, a new coffin rested, and the contest for Lisa's soul was about to begin. Come, my son, it's nearly sunset, and we have a terrible task ahead of us. Deep in a mountain cave, though paralyzed by daylight, the monster's supernatural hearing easily detected the forlorn pealing of the bells. He smiled, feeling the hot flush of triumph, and as daylight gave way before the onrushing darkness, evil took flight, filling the evening air with a dry rustling of dead wings. Arise, my princess! Your beauty is mine forever! Yeah! Kurt! Is it over? Yes, darling. Thanks to this blessed sword and Father Koning's plan, yes, the fiend will take no more lives, corrupt not another soul, especially not yours. But, Father, Kurt could have suffocated in the coffin. How could you know the vampire would be so impatient, greedy to dare coming this night? A man should know his own brother. That's not my idea of a great family reunion, but I suppose it's all relative. And before my puns drive you batty, why not wing your way on to my next bit of nauseous nonsense? Vampy's Flames. I don't know what this is, but we're going to read it. Razzle-dazzling Ron Fisher of St. Anthony, Iowa sent us this picture and included a story to go with it. While strolling too close to a haunted castle many years ago, a lovely young lady with very yellow hair and an angelic smile was captured by an ogre. The ogre carried the young lady in his hairy paws all the way down to the very deepest cubbyhole of the catacombs' castle's cellar. The girl screamed loudly as the ogre bound her hands and anklets with rope and lowered her into a pit of bubbling liquids which gave off foul odors. The girl had nothing else to do, so she screamed ever more loudly. "Brah!" said the ogre. "That scream is enough to raise the dead." A circle of white bobbed to the surface of the reeking pool. Rose revealed itself to be a skull with burning red coals in its eye sockets. A skeleton hand rose from the mire, clutching the rim of the pit. Another bony hand holding a sword clutched the rim of the pit too, and the skeleton we see in the illustration pulled himself out onto the floor of the dungeon. "I have come to save you, dearest," said the skeleton to the lovely young lady in distress. A white aura with his former face mystically formed, and it glowed in midair. The skeleton's spirit. "Oh, my Sir Lindsay," shouted the girl with relief. "You have come to rescue me from this foul master of fetid brine." "The same, my lady," answered the skeleton. "This ogre killed me last week, but now I come back to save you, my lovely lady Funcity." The skeleton raised his gleaming magic sword and swung it deftly at the ogre. Slish, slash, snicker, snack, and the ogre was beheaded and died shortly thereafter. The skeleton then cut the girl down, saying unto her, "There now, my lady Funcity, no one shall harm you, nor attempt to immerse you in foul-smelling vapors and liquids." "'Tis so," said the damsel, breathing a sigh of relief, "but I am afraid that since you have already been killed by the ogre, we can never marry." "'Tis a pity, my lady," agreed the skeleton, a calcium deposit trickling down his cheek, "but it must be so." The skeleton then carried the damsel back to the ground level, where she could once again breathe the pure air of this medieval village of Gotham. The skeleton returned to the catacombs to forever fish the foul pool for the lump of muscle that he was sure to call his broken heart. The whole truth. Brian O'Malley of Jersey City, or rather Brian's sister, says this story is true. Who are we to argue? A boy my sister knew was walking through a park one day with two other kids, a boy and a girl. As they were walking, he saw something lying on the ground and he kicked it. As he did, it jumped up from the ground and hit him. Almost immediately, he fell down screaming and foaming at the mouth. He was rushed to the hospital and had to take the painful treatment for rabies. The thing he had kicked was a bat, and the bat was in the final stages of rabies at the time. It wasn't long before the boy was dead. Not long after, the girl who had been with him was home all by herself. Her parents were out for the evening. She was in the kitchen when she had heard a crash. She ran into the living room to see what had happened. There in the window was a huge bat with his head stuck in the broken glass. Remembering what had happened to her friend, she ran to the telephone. She managed to lift the receiver, but she couldn't speak. She could only scream, and scream she did. The police came almost immediately, but they were too late to save the girl. She had been frightened to death by a bat who was dead before she had ever saw him. Count 'em, 7 spooky sketches of Suave Vampy sent in by our sensational amateur artist readers. Who can say that there doesn't lurk on this page the talent of another Frank Frazetta, Ernie Cullen, Tom Sutton, Bat Boyette, or a Ken Barr? Most of our artists were comic art fans in their youth, too, and still are. Jerry Contessa of Brooklyn, New York, sent in the above portrait of our voluptuous vamp. Running clockwise from it are Anthony Kowalik of Harvey, Illinois, Jack Becker, Toby Caputi, Chris Hogg, Richard Sharon, Ed Shea. Okay, so these are all black and white sketches. Let's see. 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 early black and white sketches. The tale starts in a hospital and ends there too, but there's a lot of terrific traveling between the two. But don't expect to be home soon, cousins, because this is strictly a one-way trip. Mike Davis could hear the hushed voices as they spoke through the veil of darkness that surrounded his tormented brain. "How is he, doctor?" "It's not good. His mind is really on cloud 9 from the overdose of drugs he took. He may be so far out we can't bring him back. I'm going to try this new compound. We've had success with it before on bad cases, but this guy is so drugged nothing may help him. I've secured the straps so that if he becomes violent during the night, he can't harm himself." From a million light years away, Davis's burning mind heard the orderly's comments, and his soul silently screamed for help. "Someone, please, I want out of this. I want out." But Davis was alone in the swirling galaxy that was his drug-induced inner self, and his psychedelic torment continued. He felt his life existence being twisted by the cosmic forces that were exploding in his head, and each second brought some new insanity. "I can't take this pain. No!" Then suddenly, Davis sensed another presence in this limbo of horror, a presence carried on by a humid wind that washed through his soul. Who is it? Where are you?" There was something nearby, moving in the darkness that his eyes could not penetrate. "Where are you? Come out!" He raced into the curtain of black gloom, but the presence had moved. Then a sound came from behind him. "Huh? What?" Davis turned and saw the monstrous shape with its clawed arms and piercing eyes that seemed to cut into his already bared soul. The thing lumbered towards him, its repulsive mouth parting in a triumphant grin that gave shape to gurgled inhuman words. "At last I am free. Free from the recesses of your mind where I have lain dormant since your birth. I am the evil that is inborn in every man. You have finally given me shape with your drugs." "No!" "But I shall never truly be free until you are dead. Keep away! Keep away!" Instinctively, Davis began to run, fleeing this thing of evil that had been freed from his mind. "This can't be happening! It can't!" Faster and faster, he plunged through the shifting universe of his inner self, seeking a way out. Finally, an eternity later, "I can't go on! There's no escape!" The pursuing monster saw Davis collapse and knew it had won. "Soon you will find your way out, an eternal rest, and I will gain my freedom from you." Resigned to his fate, Mike Davis lay on the cold alien soil of his drugged mind, waiting the inevitable. But suddenly it was quiet and still, a great calm settling over Davis's tortured brain. The beast sensed it too, a tranquil warmth spreading throughout this mind universe. No, it can't end now. I was so close to freedom, so close! For a time all was unmoving. Then Davis dropped into a void of darkness, and once more he heard the doctor's voice from afar. "He's beginning to come out of it." Davis's body gave a spasmic jerk, and he awoke with a scream, pulling against the straps that held him to the bed. "Yeah!" "Easy now, Mr. Davis. Don't try to move. You're going to be all right. Just lie still." "Oh, my head, my mind feels like it's blowing apart." "Yes, you were really far out, but fortunately we were able to overcome the drugs in your system. We used a new chemical solution we've developed. Man, there was some kind of thing, a thing of evil in my mind. It kept chasing me, trying to kill me. This thing was just something your tormented mind dreamed up, a figment of your imagination. This hypo will relax you and let you sleep. I'll remove the straps so you'll be more comfortable. I'll be back to check on you in a couple of hours. You should be feeling much better after a good sleep." "Feel better? Wow, I couldn't feel any worse than I do now. My mind seems as if it's on fire, and I can't shake the thoughts of that thing of evil. Man, what a nightmarish trip that was. I wonder where I dreamed the monster up. The hypo must be starting to work." In a few minutes, Davis was asleep, but it was an uneasy sleep, troubled, fevered. Then, how much later he did not know. A loud noise woke him suddenly. "Doctor, is that you?" His eyes strained through the thick blackness of the room, barely making out a shape. "Who is it? Who's there?" The darkened form moved closer, and Davis called out again, his voice betraying the fear that was building inside him. "Why don't you speak? Who is it?" There was a sound, a sickening cold terror, sound of clicks, and then the hulking shape loomed over Davis's bed, its piercing eyes glaring at him, its clawed hands reaching down in deadly embrace. With sudden hopelessness, Davis realized his psychedelic nightmare had been real. The dormant thing of evil from the recesses of his inner being and now had form and was free. Who can say what dwells in the inner man? What is imagination and what is reality? It kind of chokes you up, doesn't it? Mavis Deering's blue eyes were bright with anticipation, brighter even than the twinkling lights of Chicago 20,000 feet below. "Oh, David, my David, I can't endure our being apart." The airliner banked, swept earthward towards the runway lights printed on the dark earth. "But like 100 times before, the waiting is over, David. Again we'll see each other, touch, and maybe..." Tires screeched upon wet concrete. The jet taxied towards the debarkation platform. "Maybe this time you won't have to let me go." "Careful, watch your step. Hope you enjoyed the flight." "It's all planned, David. Every detail worked out perfectly." "Mavis, over here, darling." "David!" An hour later, in David Stewart's apartment. "All right, now, I've waited long enough, love bug. What's this idea of yours that you're so excited about?" "I want you to kill Roger. It's the only way. He'll never give me a divorce." Well, Mavis always had been a girl who knew what she wanted and didn't want. Now she wanted David very badly and didn't want her husband Roger at all. Her solution, while hardly original, might have been a roaring success had it not been for one hairy detail: the Wolfman. Love for Mavis Deering had brought David Stewart to this remote suburb of Detroit, but only cold determination kept him going. His hands were like ice, clammy with sweat as he squeezed the trigger. In another instant, a bullet would crush out Roger Deering's life, scattering his brains upon the wall at his back. "Wait, David. Someone else is coming out, too. Oh, God, I would have done it. I would have killed him. A girl. That two-timer's got a girl with him. Look at him, David. He's been fooling around with another woman in my own house. Killing is better than he deserves." "Well, there he goes. We've missed our chance." "Thank God. This chance, but we'll have another, a better one." "Roger has a mountain cabin. He goes there every month, as if his life depended on it. That's where he's off to with that bit of cheap fluff." Mavis was clever, very clever, and equally persuasive. Her caresses melted David's protest so that by the following morning, "We'll leave the car here and walk overland to come up on Roger's cabin from behind." The two would-be murderers hiked all day through the autumn woods. Then as evening blackened the sky, "Better camp here. Roger's cabin should be just a mile to the east if you read the compass correctly." I did. Inky darkness came, and with it, wolves. Must be a whole pack out there. "Relax, darling, they'll stay clear of our fire." "But, in the name of God!" Blam! Kablam! "David, what was it? What did you see?" "A wolf. Biggest I ever saw. He was watching us like a man would." "Ha ha, what a lovely imagination you've got. You're as bad as that fool Roger." "What about Roger? How am I? I mean, you both get so excited about wolves. Roger used to babble about them incessantly. He even bought books about werewolves of all things. It all began a year ago, after Roger returned from a trip to Germany. He claimed he had evidence that werewolf legends had a foundation in fact. And so I laughed at him. What else? He stopped talking about such nonsense. And he began coming up to his cabin every month, alone? Why, yes, now that I think of it. Then your husband must be up to something, or, ha ha, come now, David, you're not really suggesting that Roger comes up here to turn into a werewolf?" Morning dawned. Somber slate-gray clouds promised rain. "Hurry, David, we'll take them by surprise." Shoot him in the back, I suppose. An hour later, the cabin came into view, and there, Roger's girlfriend, and the wolf, the same one I saw last night. Driven by an impulse of crawling fear, David fired the rifle again and again. Blam! 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 But to Mavis' surprise, "You've killed him! Roger! Oh, Roger!" "Sorry, dearie, but don't cry. You'll be keeping him company soon enough." "Mavis, don't!" Blam! "Well, David, that's it. Excuse me. Well, David, that's that. Now I'm a widow. A cold-blooded widow. Don't you feel anything? We've just murdered 2 people. I did it for us, David. Now we can be married. Be together. Always. Must be a drink somewhere in the house. God knows I need it." Mavis followed David inside to find, well, isn't this interesting? A tape recorder still running. Mavis tapped the rewind button, then replay. "Hurry, Roger, there's no time to repair that circuit. We've got to get to the car before your wife and that killer get here." The recorder became filled with the sounds of hurrying feet, muffled words, and growls, then blam! Kablam! Mavis again pushed the rewind, this time fully rewinding the tape before pressing replay. I'm elated. I'm elated. Doubly so, because now I have Carol to share my happiness. At last I've made a breakthrough, gone from vague myth to theory to fact. And now the task is done. I, as a scientist, have the most irrefutable evidence that the mythical werewolf did exist in the past, and probably still. David, come here, I want you to hear this. In a minute, I found the door to the basement. Your husband keep a bottle down here? Mavis heard David unlock the basement door, and then, in the name of Yay! David, what is it? Mavis ran into the back hallway to the open basement door. No, you're dead, you can't. But the thing that was now Roger Deering only glanced up from the body it was gnawing hungrily. You monster, you've killed my David! Grrr! Then Roger leaped up the stairs towards Mavis, his face twisted in a wolfish snarl. Grrr! Stay back! Keep away from... Ah! With my machine, I've transferred my mind into a wolf's body, and at the same time transferred the wolf's mind into my body. I can't say how the wolf feels in my form, but for myself, the experience is a fascinating one. Tonight, I intend to make the transfer once again, and... Well, dear Roger always was in the habit of wolfing down his food, but now, Fang fans, he's really got an excuse. New iron-on monsters. Newest way to monsterize your shirts, t-shirts, sweatshirts, jeans, jackets, notebooks, anything. Each iron-on monster is in full color, 11 inches high and 7.5 inches long. Completely washable. Can be pressed onto cotton, linen, or woolen materials. Just place heated iron on top of the monster design and it automatically transfers onto your shirt, jacket, etc. Any 2 monsters, only $1.25. Get those little monsters. Tremendous 10-foot balloons! Monster-sized balloons! Special Air Force surplus balloon made of genuine neoprene rubber for extra durability. Never used, out of this world, even looks like a flying saucer when inflated. Think of the fun you'll have! Draw a picture of a monster on the balloon with luminous paint and inflate it at night. Wow, the neighbors will run screaming. Special limited offer sold at fraction of cost. $2.95 plus 50 cents postage and handling. Many usage. Absolutely terrific for attracting attention in crowds of sports events, opening fairs, roadside stands, gas stations, etc. Great fun at school games to promote and advertise special events. The lifeblood of any collection. Vampirella. Okay, and we're done with Vampirella issue 6. It seems that we have another issue, or maybe even 2 more issues in volume 1. So, I know you guys can't wait for Vampirella issue 7, and you'll see it definitely in October. So, alright guys, I'm out of here, and we'll see you next time, horror fans. Have a good one.